Welcome to the hour where spirits are feeling high. Mocktail Hour with Anastasia beneath the sober sky. Shaking up the juices, flavors come alive. No need for a cork, fun straight from the jive. Sip a little sunshine, garnish with a twist. Stories and laughter in a glass, nothing's amiss.
Hello! Happy Friday. Welcome to Mocktail Hour. This is a very special Mocktail Hour. I've been doing this for a few weeks, but this is the first time that I will have a guest with me on the stage. And I'll be introducing him in just a moment. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. I will say a few words about who I am in case you don't know me. My name is Anastasia. I do sober coaching. And I started the show to spread sort of awareness of sober living and promote it as a positive lifestyle, hopefully help remove some of the stigma if, you know, my little bit of influence that I might have on someone in the world. I figure everybody, every little thing we can do, you know, to help spread that positivity and light is a great thing, regardless of, you know, who sees it, how many see it. It's just something some of us feel called to do, and so we just do it. I have some comments coming in. I've got Vanessa tuning in, saying hi. I've got Lonnie Ray. I am so excited for the show. You picked a great guy, Anastasia. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'd been wanting to invite somebody on the show, and Rob just kept popping in my head. It's like, you got to ask Rob. You got to ask Rob. Okay. So I finally was just like reached out to him, and I didn't know if he would say yes because I know he's maybe a little shy. I don't know. He posted a video one time, and it was a pretty big deal. So I was very happy when Rob accepted my offer to come on the show today. And yeah, really excited. So yeah, if you're tuning in, please say hi. Don't be shy in the comments. Let us know, you know, maybe where you're listening from, state, location, or it could be what platform you're coming from. We've got a nice group here. This is very exciting. And you could also let us know what you're drinking if you like. I'm drinking a mint honey tea right now. My husband made it for me, which is very sweet. I have his backup today. He said, he asked me if I needed anything. I was like, I would love some tea. Thank you. So sweet. I can see everybody's comments, which is great. Last week I couldn't see comments. This week we are in good shape. So very exciting. So what do you guys say? Why don't I go ahead and invite Rob on the stage? Why don't we bring him on the show? Oh, and Vanessa's, oh, you're so cool. You're calling in from South Carolina. You're amazing. I'm really looking forward to our lunch next week. And we got Robin from Massachusetts, and we got Mark from Connecticut. Nice. This is a great group. All right, I'm calling in Rob. We're going to invite him on the stage now, so here we go. Hey, Rob.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Anastasia. This is more than I can expect.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're so lucky to have you. And I know a lot of the people that are tuning in know a little bit about you because a lot of them have been following you for a while, from what I see. But for anybody who's not familiar with Rob, because Rob is my LinkedIn friend, and I do have friends tuning in from Facebook and perhaps YouTube. So for those who do not know Rob, Rob is, well, first of all, when I think of Rob, I just think of this like inspiring, positive light. Like every post he posts on LinkedIn, and it's pretty much every day, there's a positive meme or a graphic and some words like really like well thought out like words. And not only that, but Rob always has a kind word for another person in comments on their post or response to their comment on his post. Just this positive wonderful, kind person. That's how I think of you. So
Thank you. Thank you.
But Rob also is sober, so that's something we have in common. And he's also been named recently, aren't you a top business voice on LinkedIn?
I mean, it was some questions that LinkedIn gave me that I gave my experience and what I've done. I don't consider myself a top voice, but LinkedIn says so. I'll accept
That's an honor. That's a
it. It
nice
is.
thing to have on your profile.
Hi, Chorito.
You've got people waking up early for you. It's so sweet.
Hi,
That's so
Robin.
sweet. I'm gonna try and keep up. If you see me like looking like I'm distracted, I'm only mildly I have a little ADD. I'll be honest with you, but it's because I'm also. They don't have a function on this platform for the comments to auto come on the screen, so I have to actually click each one. But I want people to see them. It's such a
No,
nice
that's
part.
fine.
Yeah. So if you see me looking over here, that's why. And also Rob was recently featured in a anthology called Rattled Awake, which we're definitely going to get into. We want to hear more about that and how that happened. But to sort of like warm up the show, maybe break the ice a little, I thought it'd be really fun to share a little story with you guys. So 1 week ago, I was actually we were outside in my yard. We are getting ready to put together a lemonade stand for my daughter. She's selling lemonade, and this is how life happens, right? It's like when you're living in real life, and then you also have your social media. Like I wanted to tune in a little bit to LinkedIn, like I want to stay a little bit connected, but I also want to stay really connected to my family. But I did happen to see, Rob had this really cool image that I just caught my eye. And I'll change our location so everybody can see. Ooh, that's not the right button. There we go. And so this image just caught my eye. Let me just take off this so we can see. Okay, so this caught my eye. It's so colorful for one thing, but also what it says. It says, if everything is sound and vibration, you are the DJ of your own existence. And this quote is attributed to none other than the universe. I just got a kick out of that, And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And the cloak kind of reminds me of like Mickey Mouse's mantle, like sorcerer mantle, in the cartoon when he's the sorcerer with the broomsticks and everything. Anyway, I liked it. And so I commented on this post, and I said, I was like, you know what? This would make a really cool song. It just sounds like, sound is vibration, and you're the DJ of your own existence. I mean, it just sounds like you could sing about that, right?
Yeah.
And so I said that in the comment, and as Rob always somehow does, he responded back to me, though he had like many, many other comments that he's, keeping up with, but he responded right back to me, and he said, you should write that. You should do that song. You should write it. And it's like, okay. So I picked up my guitar and just started strumming, and I wrote the song in I'm honestly 10 minutes. Really, it just kind of flowed out, and I was like, I haven't done that in a while. It's probably been 6 months, 7 months, 8 months since I've written a song, probably maybe longer, honestly. So it was very cool, and it just seemed like the perfect thing to tie in with the show this week. And I was like, how cool would it be to debut the song, have Rob on the show? I can interview Rob and also share the song. So I thought that would be fun. So to show how you can, I don't know, technology, we can do so much with social media. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be all haters or stalkers or whatever. It can be you can make really good, genuine connections with people and do cool things, cool collaborations. So I guess this would be a collab, wouldn't it? Some kind of collaboration. Yeah. I also wanted to share with you guys before I share the song what Rob wrote with the post, because it was so cool. You want to read it, Rob? Why don't you read it?
Happy Friday, everyone. And it's Friday again. We are all creators of our own destiny. No one or nothing should ever dictate what unfolds throughout our life. It is entirely up to us to choose the path we want to follow. Pick up those positive vibes and make sure to pass them on.
Yeah, that was just 1 week ago, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
hard to believe it's only been 1 week. I love that, and I know it resonated with a lot of people. I think my favorite line personally was, "No one or nothing should ever dictate what unfolds throughout our life,"
Yeah.
because we have a role. We're not just passive receivers of this life experience. We're creators,
Exactly.
and collaborators with life. And so that's really what the song, all this went so well with the picture as well. But I also included that inspiration into the song as well, what you wrote in
Oh
your
no. Yeah.
words
I
there.
remember you sent me the words.
Yes. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, so Rob, you might want to mute your mic so to avoid feedback.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna grab my guitar here. I want to point out, I just realized this while I was sipping my tea. I have not only my Beatles guitar strap that I got from Abbey Road when I was going for sober coach training, actually 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. But I also have my Abbey Road cup, Beatles cup. So I've got my Beatles. Hopefully they're here in the room with me in spirit somehow, inspiring my music. All right. All right, here we go. I let those good vibrations flow. I let those good vibrations sing. What's messing with you won't be messing with me. I let those good vibrations sing. I pick up the pen of destiny my creator gave to me. I sing from my soul. I let those good vibes just flow. I let those good vibrations sing. I let the good vibrations flow. I let the good vibrations sing. That doom and that gloom won't dig me a lifelong tomb. I let the good vibrations sing. I drink from the river of contentment. I dwell by the fountain of peace. My heart overflows with all the beauty I have known. When I let those good vibrations sing, I let the good vibrations flow. I let the good vibrations sing. That woe is me won't be messing with me. I let the good vibrations sing. I let the good vibrations ring. I let the good vibrations sing. Well, thank
That was
you.
wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The good vibrations sing thing came into play. I think the sing is kind of like what rhymed real well for one thing. But I was like, should I say good vibrations be, and like that worked. But I was like, sing is more like, and I'm singing, so let the good vibrations sing, like sing through me or something,
That was good. I like that.
Thank you. I got an awesome from Patty Day Wilson. Thank you, Patty. She happens to be my aunt.
Hi, Patty.
Yay! Oh, and we got some more. I'll pop other comments. The people that were tuning in that maybe we hadn't shared yet.
Hi, Leanna. Hi, Terry. Hi, Joe.
This is a good conversation. It's nice. It's like people. I think some of the people who are commenting can see each other's comments. Like I think if they're in LinkedIn, they can see each other's comments.
I
Of
think you
course,
could. Yeah.
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 Okay, but like people on, for example, like people on Facebook, I think they just see the Facebook people's comments. So that's why I like to share it so we can see as many of them as possible. But let me change our screen. So I am producer director of the show. Anyway, I already told you I might be looking a little distracted just because I'm juggling. But let's put you main screen so we can have good view here. So Rob.
Yeah.
So what brought you to LinkedIn? Like of all platforms, I don't know if you're as equally active on other ones, or is LinkedIn your main thing? And then how did you end up on LinkedIn?
Well, LinkedIn is my main thing, I would say. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm on Facebook for family and friends so I can connect with them that live in other states. So, yes, what I post on here, I post on Facebook as well. And the reason why I'm LinkedIn, when I first went into sober living, which was March 19th of 2021, they allow you to be there for about 6 or 9 months, and then they allow you to go get employment. So my first thought was, oh yeah, LinkedIn, you find a job. And granted, I was on LinkedIn before then because the job I had before they laid me off, um, I was a manager, so we had to do monthly like courses that LinkedIn offers, and it was a requirement. So I already had an account, and so after 9 months at the rehab center, I started looking on LinkedIn, and I'm like, there's a lot different about LinkedIn. I like it. And inspiring quotes, people with messages, and I'm like, I can get into this. And some of those stuff, I can't remember exactly what it was, but some of that stuff inspired me. So I said, why don't I give it a try? And I should have grabbed like the first post I ever did, but I only thought about it now. But I started posting quotes. I didn't put my words, I just posted quotes, and then that was it. And I'm sure, like everyone out there, in the beginning, few months, unless you promote yourself, I only posted once a day. You only got maybe one like, 2 likes, or whatever. And it took about a good 6 months before I had good connections and stuff like that. And I have to give two shout outs to two people who, I'm sorry, I'm just getting overwhelmed. All right, I'm good. There's two people that just supported me in the very, very beginning and encouraged me to keep going. And I would like to acknowledge Bayar Karbuli from India and Joy Cecina from San Francisco. I mean, granted, everyone now, you have a piece of my heart, and but in the beginning, those two just engaged on my posts and just supported me and encouraged me, and I kept going, and it just took off from there. And the camaraderie, the engagement, the community. the friendships that I've made since then. I mean, I have a list 3 miles long, not a mile long. You and everyone else, the people that I shouted out to, these people, they show up for me. And we had this conversation at sound check. When you first started, it's like you have a life and then you have the LinkedIn life. And it's like when you started getting like 100 reactions and then these comments, you're like, you got overwhelmed. And so did I. But now it's like every comment that is on my post, I deserve to give them a reply. I don't have to. I want to. Because without these people, everyone, I would not be sitting right here talking to you. I mean, it's just so amazing. That and that's how I started on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
And
that's neat. Has that journey paralleled your sobriety journey, would you say?
yes, well, I met you, and I've told you a few times that the stuff that you post about your sobriety, post the 30 days sobriety challenge, the book. I mean, it's just little things like that. I grab. That's part of my support system.
Mm-hmm. Community is so important.
It is. It is.
And these days, it's not just our immediate people that we come into contact with throughout our day. A lot of us have social connections online. It's part of our
Right.
wider community, um, which can be really quite inspiring. Um, so I've had a chance to check out Robb's story. So Robb has a story published in Rattled Awake, Volume 5, which is an anthology of stories from a variety of authors. And I know I would love him to talk a little bit more about that story and how it happened and stuff like that. But I had an opportunity to read it the other day, and oh my goodness, I was so drawn in. And I won't give it away. I'm not going to give the story away, but he has a hook in there that draws you in because you're like, did this really happen? This really was it this dark? Was it this bad? And I was wondering, I wasn't sure what to think. And then he says, and that was what was going on in my mind. That was a story I wrote. That didn't really happen. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to give it away. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, well, you guys should go read it because I didn't tell you what he said. All I said was. Anyway. So, and okay, and not just that, but the other thing that struck me about the story is what a transformation. I mean, Robb, like, I'm telling you, like, I think of you as this positive light person, and it shows. I mean, and I have dark moments and dark stories too, but you really reveal that part of your soul. Like, this happened to me. I was in a dark place, and now I'm not. And you can have this too. First of all, I just want to say I found it really inspiring, and I think a lot of other people will as well.
Thank you.
So, would you mind sharing a little bit about how that anthology happened and what went into your story?
I was approached by one of my connections, Leanna. I'm sorry, I don't remember her last name. And she referred me to Lonnie Ray. I was very apprehensive. And it's like, I've already done like 3 leads for my AA community. And that's just basically telling your story. I just went more in depth in the book, but to actually write it, I was feeling kind of nervous. But I got in touch with Lonnie Ray. That woman is phenomenal. She made me feel so comfortable. And she's a godsend too. So I did the workshop. It was a phenomenal experience. I mean, the other authors, Sean, Michelle, Wendy. Oh God, I can't remember the other names. Um, but anyways, I mean, there was other authors with their chapters, and it's not just sobriety. It's about an aha moment. Leanna Stock Luma, yes, her. Thank you. Um, it's about aha moments. It's about what what happened in your life that you just had a turning point and your life just became better. I mean, it's not sobriety, it could be anything. I mean, we all have darkness in our lives, not just addiction, but other things. And after I talked to her and I talked to all these other authors, I felt so comfortable. And I think it was Saturday night, I wrote my whole story in one night. And granted, I have the gift of words. I've always had that. Thank God. Thank you. So it just flowed out of me. And when you write with your heart, it's so easy. So I submitted it, and the rest is history. And that was another moment in my life where it solidified my sobriety. It's like I know my story's out there. And you know how you hear somebody say, if it could help one person, I'd be happy because I put everything in there from the darkest darks, the lowest lows, and I didn't leave anything out. I was a horrible person. I mean, you guys see me on LinkedIn. You would never in a million years think this is Rob. Yes, this was me. And what I am today is what I was before addiction. And I am so blessed and so grateful to be the person I am today, like I was, if not a little bit better. Because having a support system is like detrimental to coming out of any dark spot in your life. And I consider Lonnie Ray and this anthology series definitely a part of my support.
Oh, that's really powerful. Writing is so therapeutic. And
Mhm.
it's interesting that you were writing through almost like a release for the subconscious. Like subconscious is telling you, hey, something's not right here.
Right.
Something's not, we're not quite right now. What can we, maybe this is like an invitation to open a door to some change, But I if you don't mind, I have a little quote I have screenshotted from
Oh,
your book. Do you mind if I read a
Anastasia,
little? Yeah,
you're kind of freezing a little bit here and there.
I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, well, let me know if I go out. I guess I could. I'm wondering if I can. Maybe if I should turn off my iPad. Maybe just having less devices. Maybe. So we'll give that a try. How about now?
You're good.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. So this is the ending paragraph from your story. Oh, is it okay if I read it? Do you mind? It's
No,
just
go
a
ahead.
today. Okay.
Yeah.
Today, I am living proof that you can live a truly wonderful life with promise and with goals. Variety is my number one priority. Let's just say that I protect it with the vigor and tenacity that I used in obtaining my next drink while in active addiction. And I would do just about anything to do that. So it's great because it just shows the complete. It's almost like opposite day. It's like now what I used to do to get that thing that I thought I wanted and was that I thought I needed. Now I use that same energy to set my boundaries, and protect myself.
Yes,
So that's really
definitely.
beautiful, and I love that you're sharing that with others. And so that kind of leads into my one of the questions I had for you that I thought would be really cool, really helpful to bring up on a platform like LinkedIn, especially. We have a lot of people on LinkedIn are there for work. And so, and I have had some commentators ask or point out that, well, some people don't feel comfortable sharing being about sobriety or maybe even pursuing sobriety. Maybe worried about their livelihood, they're worried about their job. And so I was just wondering, oh, nice. Okay, nice. That's a good choice. Um, I was just wondering, do you have any concern? Have you experienced any of that stigma from your workplace? Um, or do you have any of those concerns when you share,
No,
your story?
actually, the jobs I've had in addiction, um, I've worked with people who were very compassionate, and if you came to them, they would help you with rehab or whatever. And but I never had to use that, which I should have. But work was my number one priority. I wasn't a priority. You weren't a priority. Work was a priority. I went to work every day on time, if not early, never late, never missed days because of my drinking, because I thought I had this all under control. But no, I mean there are places that have that um I don't know what you want to say, call it options to get yourself better. And every job that I have had that because it was in the handbook. The job I have now is my second job being sober. And I let them know right away. I says I'm a recovering alcoholic. I was sober, I think like 2 years, almost 2 years or 2 years when I first started. So I'm very open about that. And it's a great place to work. I don't know if they have that, but I'm not going to worry about it because that's not going to happen again. But never say never. But if I have my support group, then I'm that much closer to staying sober every day. But as far as the question you asked, I I I don't think I answered it correctly because I've never had that opportunity where my job was in jeopardy because of my drinking.
Hmm.
So
I think some people think they can't even talk about it having been a struggle or had, be honest about it. Like, I don't know, but it's nice to hear, it's helpful to hear you say it. It's nice to know that there are some places, first of all, that have options for people that are actively struggling. And it's also nice to hear you say you don't have any fear about sharing about your experience. I mean, I know not every place is like that, and we're just everything's different. Every company's different, and every situation is different. So, but I was just curious to get more of a feel on that, a read on that. It
well,
in
I think my advice would be if you are sober now and you have a good stronghold on your sobriety, it's up to you to say to your new employer that I'm a former drinker or recovering alcoholic. Um, just keep being sober. But if you have a problem when you first start a new job, I don't have any advice on that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's trouble. It's
Yeah,
makes things a lot harder for sure.
yeah.
We have a few comments that have come in. I didn't want to put them on while we were chatting. I have a few more questions for you, but let's take a little intermission and look at some of the comments. I don't want to leave anybody out. So my dad, Bob Speaker, tuned in. He says hi,
Hi, Bob.
Facebook people, and I think he means hi to everybody too. And we had it looks like Lonnie Ray had to go. Go Rob.
I love you, Lonnie.
You got Joe encouraging you.
Thank you, Joe.
And he also says he wants to be connected with you on Facebook.
No problem, Joe. I'll do that.
We've got Liana. We saw that. I did put that one up because you were talking about her.
Yeah.
So that is confusing. So you have a Lonnie and a Leanna. I could see how that could be confusing. Those names are so similar. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different girl. Okay. Lady. Lonnie's up here. Okay. All right. So, and then we've got my husband, Sean, popped on.
Sean.
He says, hello. Robin, who I think was here earlier as well.
I can't do that.
the emoji in the hand form. My husband, Sean, support is key, helps unlock the door to a fuller self. Practice, practice, practice. Being open to the help of others.
Yep.
Yeah. And that can be hard for anybody, but sometimes I think being open to help can be especially hard for men. I don't know if that's sexist or if you'd agree with that, but men are, I think it's just like our culture. In our culture, men are supposed to have it all together and not show weakness, and by asking for help, sometimes it makes them feel like, oh,
thank you, Tina,
weak or something, but so not true. And that's really nice. I barely know you, and I honestly can say that you're an unbelievable person, and I'm proud of you. From Joe Carlini and Anastasia,
you, Joe.
I follow you and love your spirit. That's very sweet. It's very kind. These are nice comments.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
I am
really
so
nice,
grateful.
really nice group. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I also wanted to ask you, because we are on the show and it's Mocktail Hour. How do you find mocktails triggering, or like non-NA beers triggering? Just curious.
Well, let's just put it this way. I won't be trying any non-alcoholic beverages just because I don't want the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've tried NA back when I was drinking just to see what it was like, and it tastes like beer.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to get that beer taste in my mouth, I don't know, but I don't want to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me.
I hear you. Yeah, no, and that's good. You're wise to listen to yourself, listen to your gut on that. I know people have different feelings about it. When I first decided that I wanted to not drink anymore, and for me it was more like a want. Like I could have kept drinking. I could have it wasn't at my it wasn't like a rock bottom, but it was a personal deep realization that what I was doing was not serving me. Like the stupid things I was doing when I would drink too much would be like doing headstands in my yoga room. You know what I mean? Like I'm not probably gonna like hurt anybody by doing that, but it's not probably good for, it's probably dangerous for me.
Right.
But that's like, and that was from drinking, I would drink wine. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm doing shots or something. Honestly, I've never been like I'm just a tiny girl. I'm a tiny woman. I never really handled my liquor.
Right.
So my thing was wine in the last like 10 years of drinking. My thing was wine. But in any case, when I was wanting to not drink anymore, I knew I didn't want to smell it. I didn't want to be around it. And I certainly wasn't ready to try any NAs at that point. It was actually only after going to England and going and getting my sober coach training. And each night she had a little social, thing at the end of our training, and she would make like mocktails. We had like what's it called? Like a sangria, an NA sangria and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? this is actually not bad. And it did not make me want to drink. So now I appreciate them, but there was a time when I would have been like, no, 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 no. But yeah, in my mind though, I don't associate it with, I guess the thing is I appreciate the fact so much that I can drink an NA beer and then just feel still great and feel as high. I'm like, just like the good vibes, like that it just keeps going instead of me getting sucked into some kind of like, I don't know. Alcohol made me feel good for a bit, but it was a different kind of good. And then it was a good that I knew was going to end, and a good that I wanted to keep going. But if I wanted to keep it going, then it's going to end even worse. Like, you know what I mean? So I have this deep, like, a deep knowing that that's not for me ever again, kind of like you are, like you say, like, you're like, I know I can't never say never, but like, I'm done, Yeah. It's nice to have that feeling, I think. Yeah.
Because like one of the things about drinking, it's like anything, any other kind of drug, you chase that euphoric feeling. And me being an alcoholic, it's like I would go to work, and then by 3 o'clock, because I would get off at 5, and by 3 o'clock, all my thoughts was going to the store and getting that first 6 pack or that they call gas station vodka, and just guzzling that first beer or vodka, and you get that warm fuzzies, that euphoric feeling, but then it goes away, and then it's just despair and depression. I don't want to go there.
And it's a cycle. It's like, and then we start over again the next day, and then the next time, and the next party, or the next opportunity, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? I didn't write down this question to ask you, but now I'm curious. So, have you found at all that your desire to chase that euphoria has converted into any kind of other like behaviors? Like, do you find yourself coffee? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew, I mean, it's like jam packed with caffeine. So after work every day, I guzzle one just to get that peppiness, and then I may drink one, maybe two by 6 o'clock so I can go to sleep. So when people say you trade one addiction for another, they're not kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I think I traded my addiction to this.
Yeah.
Because in the morning, I have 2 cups of coffee, and it has to be strong coffee because my coffee of choice is Death Wish.
Is what?
Death Wish.
I don't know what that is. That a drink?
It's a coffee. It's
okay.
You little K cups, and you put it in the Keurig.
Oh no! Is it that strong? Is that why they call it Death Wish? Oh my gosh!
Yeah. It's the world's natural strongest coffee, organic coffee. That's if everybody else who tries to be the strongest coffee, they have chemicals and everything.
I see.
But I've been drinking this for years, but I only have 2 cups.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Yeah, yeah. I get that. I can't drink caffeine, so I don't do that. But I've noticed that I'll get really, 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 really into my hobbies. And I've always had that tendency. I mean, that's why I play guitar and write songs, is because I got really into guitar and I learned everything I could fast, and then I went on to the next hobby. And that's kind of me. I mean, that's kind of my personality. And then I keep the ones I really like, in the circle of Anastasia. But I shift, I shift. And right now I'm like super into sewing, like super into it. And I will notice, I'm aware that I'm chasing a high, because I'll like feel so good when I'm just in the creative flow and I'm making something and it's turning out good. And then when I finish it, I just like feel so good, but if it's not going well, I don't feel as good. But I am always chasing that feel good feeling, and I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna like give up the rest of my life and just sew. Like, I know that I know that's crazy. That would be crazy, but it is interesting to see that and like, oh, that's kind of what I was. It's similar. It's like a similar kind of chase. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. We want to feel good. We're humans.
Right.
Yeah. So it's part of the way our brains work. And I think, like, evolutionarily, is that a word? Like, there's a purpose to us wanting to feel good. Like, eating good food helps keep us alive. Drinking water helps keep us alive. Like, the things we do that feel good, they help keep our species alive.
Right.
So there's a purpose for everything. But I guess it's just when you don't want to overdo anything, and if something that you cannot not overdo, like for us, like alcohol, then we're just better off not doing it. So yeah, but I'm not going to keep you all evening. I know we're going to be winding down here within the next like 10 minutes or so, and there are a couple other questions I wanted to ask you about. I think it would be inspiring for other people to hear, what is the best thing that has happened to you since you've begun your sober lifestyle?
Well, as this is part of in my book, um, well, not my book, my chapter. I started drinking because I am a shy person by nature, and I used to work with my sister downtown Cleveland, and she always wanted to go out with her girlfriends because we would carpool, and I'm like, sure, let's go. And it started drinking, sodas and Pepsi and Coke, and I'm like, all right, I'll have a beer, and I noticed I was more talkative and I engaged with the people that were at the table. And I'm like, all right, this is like a magical elixir. Not saying I didn't drink beer or whatever beforehand, but I didn't cross that imaginary line. And I don't know, it started there. And I noticed because when I would go out and then I started going out with people and I would drink and I would socialize more. And I myself brought it more out of hand. I don't blame nobody because there's nobody to blame but myself. I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
The best thing to happen to you since you started your sober journey.
Okay, all right. That's where I was getting at. So now that I'm sober and I know I post on LinkedIn that I'm part of AA, I owe AA my life. That's just me. And like I have mentioned, that I do leads when asked in front of people, tell my story. They have given me my confidence back. So now I see when I go out, I'm more personable. I don't need alcohol. I just start engaging with people. Like if I'm in a crowd and somebody introduces me, I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'll start talking. And if we have something in common, we'll sit there and have a conversation. Back then, before my addiction, it's like I would sit there, hi, like small talk. In my mind, I'm like, all right, get away from me. It just
Yeah.
not to be mean, but I was a shy person.
Yeah.
I mean, once I got to know them, then it was a different story.
Yeah.
But like today, I can go in a crowded room and I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Rob. Hi, I'm Rob. Hi, I'm Rob. Because one of the main things that A has given me when I first came in there, my sponsor told me when you enter a meeting, we always come like 15 minutes early, go around the room and shake everyone's hand and introduce yourself.
Mm.
So that right there has given me an opportunity to build my confidence. So now when I walk into a normal room, I'm not going to go and shake everyone's hand, but I'll walk in, hi. hi, I don't have that shyness. Granted, I am still a shy person, but I'm a lot more open today.
That's
That's where
powerful.
that's where I say where I am the person I was prior, but a little bit better.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I relate to that so much. I'm actually a fairly shy person as well. And that's something I have overlooked about the sober journey. Maybe I haven't explicitly verbalized that or crystallized that in my mind. But yeah, I'm a lot more confident than I used to be. A lot more. Going to a party or going to an event with a lot of people, makes me uncomfortable. I don't really like being around a lot of people. I don't really like small talk. And I I used to lean on the drink. I used to be like, well, it's okay. It's going to be fun because I'll get a glass of wine or I'll get a little, something and it'll be fun. And then I'll kind of, not even fully be there. It's like almost like you're not fully present. Like you go into this other you.
Yep.
And I used to really lean on that. Like, but when you stop drinking, you're right. Like you have an opportunity to come out of your shell and you're loving yourself. You really love yourself. So why wouldn't you want other people to get to know how wonderful you are, or or to get to know how
Right.
wonderful they are? You like
Hmm.
care more, and your ability you're able to be there for them more, be present for yourself, for others. It's a good thing.
It is. It definitely is.
We have a few more comments I want to tune into before we go to our last question. We have a Joe again. He said, "Never again do we need dope to cope or a drink
Hmm.
not to think."
Nope. Right
That's a
there,
good
buddy.
one. That's a good one. Venus, I think mocktails are good for social events. When I went out with the girls, they had margaritas. I had a mocktail and still felt a part of the party. That's nice. Yeah, it is nice. And it's nice if you find yourself in a bar situation, which I don't often find myself in a bar situation because it's not really my scene. It never really it wasn't, except that I play music, and so I did play in a lot of bars. But I guess in that way that was part of it, part of the the how I started drinking. Is because of that setting. But um, like for example, when I go out to dinner with my husband Sean, and we are maybe waiting for a table and we have some time to kill or something and we want to go into the bar, like we still feel like we can because we'll go in there and order a fojito or an NA beer, and it's like you feel like it honestly just feels like this. To me, it feels a lot like the way it used to feel and now, but I know we're not going to end up getting in a fight because we're not fully present with each other, and we're not going to end up overdoing it. Like there's so many good benefits. Obviously, we've already gone over that, but
Right.
anyway, it's like keep the ritual, but change the ingredients. That's how it was put in my sober training. So
That's good. Yeah.
it can be, yeah, it can be. If it
Hmm.
works for you, great. If it doesn't, don't need it.
Right.
Sherry says awesome, and Vanessa said your story's amazing and
Thank you.
inspirational.
Thank you.
Joe is picking up a client from the airport right now who flew in from Alabama to come to our rehab, and he's listening to this. And he said when he gets his phone back, LOL, and he completes our program, he wants to connect with both of you after listening to this. Unbelievable. Cool. That's
Yes.
great. That's what I wish him all the best. All the best. Paul Willis Trammell. Hey, Paul. Gaining control over my emotions and the ability to remain calm in a serious situation are important things I gained from sobriety. Huge, huge. And
Yes.
Paul is also he's a fellow writer. He's an author. And he also I think he captains boats. So I'm sure there's a lot of serious situations that you could find yourself um, in life and the ocean, and then in life in general. But that's absolutely a good point. The emotions thing was huge for me. Yeah, my emotions. I'm an artist. I'm a sensitive soul, and I sometimes ride the roller coaster. And alcohol makes that 10 times worse. at least 10 times worse, you know? So I totally relate to that. Um, Chorito, Rob, you are awesome, dear.
You're awesome, Chorito.
That's so sweet. So she's in a different time zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Philippines, I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chorito. I think it's Philippines.
Well, that's pretty amazing. She woke up early to tune in. How cool is that?
One thing,
Yeah.
when you said, yeah, you live in your emotions. Once I started down the steep hill and I got deep in addiction, I didn't want to deal with my emotions. I wanted to shut my emotions off. So instead of trading alcohol to be more social, I used alcohol to block out my emotions and not have to deal with it because
Interesting.
I drank more to get to depression. I drank more to get to despair. But guess what? It don't work. So now that's one of the benefits that I have is living with my emotions, the bad days. Of course, the good days, all of us can live with that. But the bad days,
Mm-hmm.
you sit with that emotion and you just deal with it. When I say deal with it, I mean not just sit there by yourself, but you deal with it, you comprehend it, you ingest it. And then if you need
Yeah.
to talk to somebody else,
Yeah.
go and do that.
Yeah.
Do not be by yourself in the bad days.
Yeah.
That's why a support system is so detrimental, and it's you you just have to have one. You
Yeah.
I mean, you can get sober by yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's so hard. When you have somebody to turn to or a group to turn to and talk to them, because dealing with your emotions is talking it out. Don't hold it in.
Right. Or you could write. Sometimes, writing can be
That too. Yes. Yes.
talking, writing.
Yes.
Yeah, I tuned into AA meetings for 30 days every day when I made the commitment to stop. And then I did think I did it for 90 days. I was doing it like all the time on Zoom. It was during COVID. So it was Zoom calls, but no, it's so important. And yeah, and I would say I've noticed a shift in my emotional lay what am I trying to what's the word I'm trying to say? Lability? Is that the word? Like this is it's so much more. It's just so much more smooth. And I feel happy so much of the time. I'm thankful. Like I thank God. Like thank you
Yes.
for giving me my joy back. Like I feel connected with like that joy that I felt as a child. Just this pure curiosity and excitement and interest in my world and in my family and in life and in myself and in I'm just interested. It's nice. It's a great feeling to feel interested in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have one more comment here. Tina, both of you are amazing. You've broke those patterns and that did not serve you. Now you are in a better place. Very impressive. Aw, super
Thank you,
sweet.
Tina.
Thank you. Okay, well, before we sign off here, do you have any words of wisdom, parting words of wisdom for anybody listening right now who may be thinking about making that change?
I mean, I already said it, but if you're thinking of getting sober, if the thought has crossed your mind, you're probably getting close to that imaginary line, if not already crossed it. Because yeah, there's people out there that can drink and they won't pick up for another month or so. But if the thought has crossed your mind, I'm just saying it from my own personal experience. Maybe look into it, find some online. I mean, it doesn't have to be AA. Anything that deals with alcoholism. Now, granted, I'm all in AA. I'm all for it. That's for me. But what I tell other people, yeah, AA I recommend, but if there's other sources or places where you can help your alcoholism, or if you're curious, do it. I mean, don't just sit there and say, "Oh, it'll go away." If you're thinking about it, it won't.
That's a good point. That actually is a good opportunity for me to share my little banner here, just to let people know. I think I mentioned a couple times that I'm a sober coach, and so yeah, so I do offer sober coaching. And I realize you can't see the website down here. It's www.happylifesober.com. And if you're curious about, what it is that I do and how we could work together, I encourage you to either reach out to me or check out my website, happylifesober.com. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but AA is great too. I love AA, and nothing bad to say about AA at all. But sometimes people might want a little more confidential one-on-one, and sober coaching can be really good for that.
Right.
And you know. So anyway, Rob, thank you. Thank you so much. I know this was a huge step for you to come on the show, and you took an hour out of your day and you took time to sound check with me. And it's so cool that we are able to do this today. How neat to connect with you and get to connect with all these other people today like this.
I am so glad I did this, and thank you so much for asking me. When I say that my sober life is just full of experiences, the Rattle the Rake series, this, I mean, what's next? I just want it to happen. I mean, there's so many things in my life that are happening because I'm sober, because I'm living in the now. I'm not just hid out in my house, drinking my vodka, drinking my beer, and just letting life go by. I'm trying to live in the present.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to shout out on Amazon, Anastasia's The 30-Day Sober Experiment. You got to check it out. I think
Oh,
I got it right.
that's so sweet. Vanessa
Yes.
also brought it up at the same. I just saw that as you were saying that. Oh, that's really sweet. Well, and I hope you find it helpful. Whoever looks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thank you. And you guys got to check out Rob's story. It's really good. I'm telling
Oh,
you. Yes.
and the anthology series. I'm in Rattled Awake Volume 5. Lonnie Ray's doing Volume 9 this weekend. They're all on Amazon. Just look up Rattled Awake and it'll give you all the volumes. I'm in Volume 5.
Awesome. You can find it if you search for it. It's on there. It's a very engaging read for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, everyone have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again, Rob.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.